Renowned investor Jim Rogers is sounding warning alarms about the U.S. dollar, saying the currency will go even lower.
Gold is making all-time highs, there's no question, because somebody's worried about what's going on in the world. I'm not the only person. The World Bank's not the only person. The U.S. dollar is making new lows for the last year or so. Gold is going through the roof. I mean, maybe something will happen to cause this to reverse and correct for a while or consolidate, but Rhonda, I don't see any fundamental changes taking place that would reverse this.
You have any sense of potentially how low the dollar might go? I know you don't like to think short term, but it's my duty to
I'm not any good at short term, but I will tell you that the pound sterling went down 90%, at least 90% from top to bottom. Now, that didn't happen in a week or a year or a decade even. It went down over a long period of time. Why not? I mean, if we're going to continue to debase it, the dollar's going to go down a great deal. I have no idea how things are going to evolve, but I don't see any actions in Washington where people are seriously saying we've got to do something about this. Quite the opposite. They're doing the opposite. They're trying to debase the dollar even further. Despite all this talk about a strong dollar, the actions speak louder than words.
Rogers has been talking about how the dollar's been turned into confetti, right? So much printing of the dollar. As a result of that, he's been talking about for a few years now, he's been in the ruble, telling you to buy the ruble. Ruble's been collapsing, right? Well, Rogers recently, April 15th, 2015, Rogers was promoted by Aaron Task. Remember, Aaron Task was making fun of all these charlatans, as he called them, who talked about the dollar being converted into confetti. Task was criticizing these charlatans for scaring people out of the stock market, this huge rally. And what does Task do? Well, of course, he promotes Rogers shortly thereafter. But so now, Task, after trashing all these charlatans who have been wrong all these years, as he admits, he's promoting them.
It's like night and day now, right? Right, and the charlatans who told us that the dollar was going to become toilet paper, right? We heard this for several years, when the Fed started doing quantitative easing. Well, that's it. Ben Bernanke, we're going to be the Weimar Republic. You're going to have wheelbarrows full of dollar to buy a loaf of bread. I haven't heard the Peter Schiffs of the world come out and say, I was wrong about that. They're still waiting for the apocalypse.
Step up,
They've been waiting for the apocalypse.
Step up. I took
exactly.
His call on the jobs report.
If you've been waiting for the apocalypse as an investor, you missed out 6 years of a rally. Right. And it's just
And of course, he's given Rogers the opportunity. Remember, Rogers is the guy that was telling everybody not too long ago, late 2014, as recent as late 2014, probably even in 2015. I don't know. I haven't found the footage. I'm sure it's out there. But he was telling everyone, and he has been for a while, that China and Brazil and Russia, they're all going to unite with their powerful, strong currencies and defeat the U.S. dollar dominance. And of course, I set the record straight several weeks ago, pointing out that Brazil is in a deep collapse, as is Russia, and China's getting ready. And of course, I predicted the collapse of Brazil. I've been forecasting that over and over again since around 2011. My subscribers know that quite well. And yet Rogers wants to tell you that the dollar is a flawed currency. He said that over and over again. As a matter of fact, according to Rogers, all currencies were expected to fail. I think it was last year.
The United States dollar, Kevin, is a terribly flawed currency. I mean, I'm an American, I hate to say it. But we have serious problems with it. The world has serious problems.
U.S. dollar becomes confetti. Any number you want to make up. They're printing U.S. dollars fast enough to turn them into confetti.
Now, Rogers wants to come out and tell you he's in the dollar. After sitting there and watching it soar, he wants to tell you now, he's in the dollar. Oh, well, he's in it for now because it's going up, but it's gonna be bad later on. Sure you are, Rogers. Let's see your fucking account statement. Folks, the media is a criminal organization. They're liars and they promote con artists. Do not believe them. Stay away from the media. They're all scumbags. Let's listen to Rogers tell us how he's in the dollar now. You fucking liar.
Speaking, do you think 2015 is going to be a year of underperformance for U.S. stocks?
Oh, yes. I think so, yes. I don't know. I'm not very good at market timing.
Rogers has been saying this about U.S. stocks for how many years now? How many years? And, of course, notice he always puts a little disclaimer there. You know, well, I'm not good at market timing. If you're not good at market timing, shut the fuck up. If you're not good at market timing, and you're not, then why don't you admit your failures? Why do you try to give the impression to these sheep that listen to your shit that you're right?
I'm here to sell books.
You're a fucking idiot.
I'm here to sell books.
Wake up, folks. Wake up and read the writing on the wall. Smell the coffee. The media is screwing you.
Joining me now to discuss whether the underperformance of U.S. stocks will continue is Jim Rogers, chair of Rogers Holdings and the author of several books.
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
Including Street Smarts.
I'm here to sell books.
A Bull in China.
I'm here to sell books.
And in Venture Capitalist.
I'm here to sell books.
Jim joins me on the phone from Singapore this morning. So Jim, broadly.
So here we have now Jim Rogers again.
I'm here to sell books.
The Contrarian Indicator. This is April 15th, 2015, and the title is Jim Rogers Loves the U.S. Dollar for Now.
Have you been surprised by the dollar strength, and do you see it continuing from here?
No, I'm delighted by the dollar strength. My largest currency position, I've owned it for a year or two. No, I'm delighted by the dollar strength. My largest currency position, I've owned it for a year or two.
Whoa, he's owned it for a year or two? Wait a second. Wait a second. Rogers, all this time you've been trashing the dollar? I never once heard you say that you've owned it all this time. Now you're coming out and trying to rewrite history? You fucking piece of shit con man. Wait a second. Folks, go through all his bullshit interviews everywhere.
U.S. dollar becomes confetti. Any number you want to make up. They're printing U.S. dollars fast enough to turn them into confetti.
I want you to find once has he said he's owned the dollar. No, this is the first time. Why? Because he's looked like a fool telling you the dollar's over. And now he wants to tell you, well, I've owned it for a year or two. Folks, you understand how these con artists operate? The only way to get the truth is to force them to show all of their account statements. Of course, they never will, because these guys live off of the perception that they know what's going on, the perception that they predicted the financial crisis and so forth. Like Peter Schiff is living off this bullshit, inaccurate perception. Peter Schiff is a joke, and he knows he's a joke. His track record sucks. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a broken clock, just like Rogers, just like Faber, just like all these guys.
I owned it not so much because of the central bank. I own it because there's going to be more currency turmoil, Aaron, and all sorts of turmoil. And in times of turmoil, people flee to a safe haven. Many people still think the U.S. dollar is a safe haven. It's not. America is the largest debtor nation in world history, but since people perceive it as a safe haven, I own the U.S. dollar. And, of course, what you just said, if the American Central Bank.
Yeah. So he wants to come out and tell you now, make up some reason why he's in the dollar. Well, it's perceived as a safe haven, so now I'm in it. What about last year, Rogers? Huh? You're a fucking con man. Yeah, it's not the safe haven. Russia, the ruble's a safe haven, right? You know, the currency you've been telling everyone that you've been buying for the past few years now that's collapsed by 65, 70%. Or the real, you know, another currency that you claimed was going to unite with the ruble and the yuan, and they're going to defeat the U.S. dollar dominance. Rogers, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking idiot, a liar, a con man. And by the way, folks, you saw earlier on, the real reason for this segment is to promote his fucking useless books. And I say useless.
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
His bullshit books that don't teach you jack shit about investing. He's a fucking typical media charlatan. That's all Rogers is. He makes his money through marketing, sales, promotion of his books. Put me on your board, all this shit.
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
As an investor, he is a disaster. Prove me wrong, Rogers. Show us your fucking investment performance for the past several years. Show us, or shut the fuck up.
I'm here to sell books.
I can't wait until you're fucking 20 feet under. It'll be one less lying scumbag piece of shit that people are exposed to, because you, like all these other charlatans out there, all these other con men, gold pumping, doomsday, the U.S. is bad type of con men out there, you've caused all these sheep that have been naive enough to listen to your ass losses. And by the way, folks, you listen to these fucking idiots, you're to blame. It's you. Turn off the fucking media. They're all full of shit.
Have you been surprised by the dollar's strength, and do you see it continuing from here?
I'm here to sell books.
No, I'm delighted by the dollar strength. It's my largest currency position.
Notice, Task asked him if he had been surprised. He didn't say, are you pleased? He said, are you surprised? He said, no, I'm delighted. In other words, he's saying, no, I was not surprised. Is that true? Well, let's go back to a few months ago. Rogers, you're a fucking liar. Either that or you have Alzheimer's disease. You don't remember jack shit from what you've been saying, because you've been telling us about how the dollar is gonna be history. It's gonna be confetti. The dollar's days are numbered, right?
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
The United States dollar, Kevin, is a terribly flawed currency. I mean, I'm American, I hate to say it.
Oh,
we have serious problems with it. The world has serious problems. And
okay, so it's a terribly flawed currency. Okay, so let's take a look now at the dollar.
U.S. dollar becomes confetti. Any number you want to make up. They're printing U.S. dollars fast enough to turn them into confetti.
So is the Fed's strategy creating a stock market bubble? Should investors be concerned?
Well, they're creating a bond market bubble, and they're certainly creating a stock market bubble. The bond market bubble is much worse, much worse, Elizabeth. Yes, they're creating bubbles.
So he's saying the Fed's creating a stock market bubble and a bond market bubble. It's completely false. False, false, false. Now, I'll explain why in a second. First of all, I want to talk about Jim Rogers. Jim Rogers is a clown. Okay? Let me repeat that. Jim Rogers is a clown. Jim Rogers, you are a clown. You know you're a clown. You are a sensationalist, moron, extremist, idiot. And if you knew what you were doing, if you had all this money, you're such a great investor, you wouldn't line up like some homeless prostitute for every single media interview. You wouldn't be writing stupid-ass books. The only money that you make is through promotion and securities and commodities manipulation through the media. That's your shtick. That's your game.
should investors still be confident in Chinese companies and buy and trade them? Jimmy Rogers, Rogers Holdings chairman, Mr. China, joins me exclusively.
China is my largest stock position. It's been a wonderful year for me in China, as you probably know.
You're one of the smartest investors around. You made a killing in commodities. Let me just flatter you, sweet pea.
No.
You told me about a year ago, buy Russian stocks. We can put up, listen to how right he was, whether you love or hate Russia, because it's a little tentative right now, the MISEX index, over 2 years. It started to falter in February of last year because, of course, during the Olympics, Putin started to make some moves on Ukraine. But what do we have now? We have a huge move in 2015 of how much?
Well, it's up a lot this year, and I am making money. The Moscow Stock Exchange is doing well. The currency is doing well. I mean, I'm delighted. I've been buying shares, as I told you, and I bought the currency, and I bought the bonds.
You told me about a year ago, buy Russian stocks. We can put up, listen to how right he was, whether you love or hate Russia, because it's a little tentative right now, the MISEX index, over 2 years. It started to falter in February of last year because, of course, during the Olympics, Putin started to make some moves on Ukraine. But what do we have now? We have a huge move in 2015 of how much?
Well, it's up a lot this year, and I am making money. The currency is doing well. I mean, I'm delighted.
Listen to how right he was.
The currency is doing well. I mean, I'm delighted.
Listen to how right he was.
The currency is doing well. I mean, I'm delighted.
Listen to how right he was.
The currency is doing well. I mean, I'm delighted.
Listen to how right he was.
The currency is doing well. I mean, I'm delighted.
Listen to how right he was.
So what should investors do then?
What should investors do? They got to play the game. You know, if they're going to print money, you protect yourself by owning things which do well.
Wait a second. They got to play the game. Well, Jim, forget owning. You know, you're going to say own commodities and gold, right? Wait a second. Why don't we just play the game that you're playing? And the game that you're playing to make money is to pretend that you're an expert, pretend that you know what's going on, put on a bow tie, and come out and do all these media appearances. You can sell books. You can make money through selling the rights or licensing your name for commodity funds and ETFs and serving on advisory boards and so forth, and also manipulating commodities, right, and front running. You can do that, right?
They print money. You own real assets, whether it's silver or rice, whatever it happens to be.
Rice. Okay, so everyone, go out and buy some rice. That's how you're going to protect yourself. The guy's obviously senile. Rice? And as far as silver, listen, what are you going to do with silver? These guys are all clowns. All of them. And the only guys out there that know what the hell they're doing, they're not in the media all the time, okay? And the vast majority of those guys, they don't really know what they're doing. They're just involved in insider trading. That's the reality. That is the reality, folks.
If I had come on your show every week for 100 weeks in a row and everything I said to you was wrong, would you keep me on your show? Would you have any confidence in me? Would you listen to me?
What's the one lesson that investors can take away with them?
What they should do is worry about all the debt developing in the United States and learn how to sell short government bonds, because that's the next bubble which is developing.
Every major central banker out there
I'm shorting bond. I'm short government bonds. Now, I'm short the government bond, the long-term government bond.
Well, I'm short bonds. I've sold bonds short, so I expect the interest rates to continue to go higher. I expect interest rates to go higher for years to come.
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
If I had come on your show every week for 100 weeks in a row and everything I said to you was wrong, would you keep me on your show?
Jim Rogers used to work for me, and since then I don't think he has been such a great investor.
I'm here to sell books.
If I had come on your show every week for 100 weeks in a row and everything I said to you was wrong, would you keep me on your show? Would you have any confidence in me? Would you listen to me?
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm shorting bond. I'm short government bonds. Now, I'm short the government bond, the long-term government bond.
Well, I'm short bonds. I've sold bonds short, so I expect the interest rates to continue to go higher. I expect interest rates to go higher for years to come.
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
The whole idea is to get out of the U.S. dollar, to get out of a currency that is on the verge of collapse. Because the people who don't get out, that think they're playing it safe, that don't want to take any risk, so they keep their money in the dollar, they are going to be broke. They're going to be completely broke, and that is obvious. It's obvious to me that that's what's going to happen. And this is pure inflation, Latin American style. This is hyperinflation. This is Zimbabwe.
I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never.
This is the identical monetary policy. This is what the Weimar Republic did.
I'm here to sell books.
We're going to have the same result.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
And I am 100% convinced that anybody who has their wealth in U.S. dollars will be just as broke as the people who have their money with Madoff. It's not going to matter. It is going to be destroyed. And I don't know how much time you have.
I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will. I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
The dollar is now sinking on its own weight, and it's going to drop like a stone. And, you know, there's not a lot of time.
I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
I'm here to sell books. I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
I'm here to sell books.
The bonds are going to collapse. It's like nobody's going to want them because the money's going to have no value.
Fortunately, you've got the live video records there on YouTube. You can't hide from the truth anymore.
I'm here to sell books.
Anybody selling advertisements or pitching bullshit, gold and silver, doomsday, just erase them from your lives. They are losers, insane lunatics, and con artists.
I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
I'm here to sell books.
I have never lied to you. Never. I never will. I have never lied to you. Never. I never will.
Fortunately, you've got the live video records there on YouTube. You can't hide from the truth anymore.